What's up, everybody? It's Blvck and TBH. We are at comic books, number one hardcore casuals, and we don't read the comics. We just watch the TV shows.
I would hope we don't watch the comics.
If it's a visual novel, you could. But we also got the homie Steven here as a guest. So say what up, Steve.
Yo.
We just got done watching episode, I want to say 6.
You sound real enthusiastic.
Season 4 Curse of Real with the CW fam. Episode 4 of
it was 6. It was episode 6, right?
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Season 4, 6th episode.
Season 4, episode 6 of The Flash, and it was an episode. It was an episode. So basically, what happened this episode? It actually starts out with DeVoe. We get 2 doses of DeVoe. DeVoe starts off by saying there's an argument with him and his assistant, and it basically ends with him saying he's smarter than her, and he figured out how the argument's going to end all 700 plus different ways. What did you guys think about this?
He's smarter than everybody else.
I didn't care.
but he's smart, and like he showed that he's smart by calculating all 700 ways that the argument's going to end. Like, I feel like that really pushes the narrative of like he's smart, in case you didn't really understand that beforehand.
Here's my problem, right? So we know he's smart. Mm-hmm. What else can he do? What is his plan? What is he going to do with those smarts?
Okay,
at this point, we get you're smart.
First of all, he has a floating chair. Okay. Like Professor X, all right, and he's bald like Professor X.
And why is that woman so loyal to him? Like,
I guess it's his wife, bro.
No, it's not. I doubt it.
Right. So you just know.
All right, let's pretend it is the wife. The wife.
You said that at the end, but I'm guessing they were lying. But
yeah, maybe
the way he talks to her, that don't seem like it's his wife.
I don't know, bro. My grandparents used to talk worse. And times are different.
This isn't family therapy, okay? We're just talking about the
I thought that. Moving on. Team Flash is like, "Hey, yo, guys, we need to find a way to catch the bow." And Wells was like, "Let me go call some of my friends, and we can, come up with a solution." Come to find out that Wells' friends are literally different Harrison Wells on different Earths, and oh my god, was that just cringy.
I actually don't know what was worse, the little Harrison Wells part or the Barry and this new nigga.
Barry and Plastic Man.
Yeah.
I
don't know what's worse.
It was like 2 competing story arcs of like which one's more trash.
I would say the Wells was worse.
So there was 3 different Wells at 1.4. One of the new Wells was like a French Steve Jobs Wells, who was very wee. Like, he sounded like he could work for like Ubisoft,
French.
Yeah, French. The next Wells was like a Wells that was mixed with what's the dude that just died from Playboy?
Oh my god,
Harvey, not Steve Harvey.
He kind of looked like Steve Tyler. And he kind of was.
Yo, what's the name of the dude who died from?
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner.
I'm about to Google it. Yeah. Not a fan of his work, really, but there was a Wells that was like Wells, but combined with Hugh Hefner, that was always like fucking. And I mean, he was a little bit funny. No. At one point, Cisco saw that dude's dick. Moving on, the next Wells was like a weird cyborg Wells that had like silly putty and like a Coke can attached to his face for an eye.
The worst costume design yet.
Yeah, like that. They didn't try with that.
He had like a gas pump in his eye socket.
But like the thing on his face was like silly putty, bro.
No, his costume was worse than the Rivals in what was that, season 2 or 3?
The funny thing is when they described that Wells, because they said he comes from a planet where all the resources were used up and machine had it combined. Like when he described that, I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. He's going to be like a cyborg. And then when he actually appears on TV, that's when you're reminded that these television shows are on a budget, bro. He came out with a fucking World War II pilot mask with with an oil pump on his eye socket and shit. Like, who designed this, bro? It was just terrible. And he was trying so hard to prove how tough he was. And
he ate a rat.
He was eating a rat on
my
the
God. This is just painful.
It was like Mad Max, but it was like Mad Whack, you know? Like,
I see what you did there.
It's a no for me, dog. And the worst part about the multiple Wells things is, I feel like they're trying to check off a box. They're just trying to add multiple Wells into every season at this point,
just in case.
Yeah, and B, it contributed actually nothing to the story when you actually think about it. They were there for comic relief.
They did at the end.
What did they do?
They eventually figured out the location of where of DeVoe. That's what they were signed to do, and like they did it by finding his psych profile. I think like analyzing his tech or something. I don't know. They.
Oh, I thought that was just Earth 2 that did that. Earth 2.
No. That was the purpose of the group of Wells. But also you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was Wells the Great. You know, like Gandalf the Great.
Oh yeah, the wizard.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
It's just like I have no problem with them going the comedic route with the show, but if they're going to do that, they need to hire some actual comedians to write something because these jokes are flat out terrible.
Alrighty, moving on to the main story with Barry and Plastic Man. God, I hate this nigga. Alright, so what happened? So Plastic Man gets a new suit, and by new suit I mean a suit, and it's a prototype that is literally like a blanket that allows him to stretch with him. And shrink as well.
It's a tarp that's made out of it's a onesie that's made out of.
It's a onesie with the ass flap. It's like JJ from Good Times. He had JJ's nightgown from Dynamite. But it was blue.
That would have been much better than this, JJ.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway. Oh God, I'm just thinking about it. Like this was just so bad. So we find out that the villain of this episode is related to a Nada from My Hero Academia, and she's a Native American, and basically her goal is to like recollect all of the stolen property from her people, and she does that by like turning her quirk. I mean, her meta ability is turning inanimate objects alive. And she turned a saber-toothed tiger statue alive to kill a guy to get like a necklace back or something. And yeah.
I will say I find it interesting that even after Americans, and when I say Americans, I'm not talking about the black ones because we had nothing to do with this. We love you Native American people. I will say after a certain demographic of Americans damn near wiped the actual real Native Americans off the
You mean the 21% of what JG is?
Yes. They've damn near eradicated the real Native Americans off of planet Earth. They still find some way to demonize them for wanting to recapture their culture. Because when you actually think about it, she wasn't really like some evil chick. She just wanted to reclaim her culture. That's all. She was like, my shit doesn't belong. We're real people. It doesn't belong in a museum. We're not some things. And she just wanted it back. Like, I don't understand why she couldn't have her little bison and her little necklace. And I mean, it was just interesting. I found it interesting they found a way to villainize Native Americans once again. Because,
some group of people stole it and then managed to sell it and make it more valuable than what she could afford, and then they put an OJ on her.
They made it.
They stole her property.
They were saying that she was hurting, and then it's like, come on.
Yeah, but her power was whack as fuck. I pointed this out in the middle of the episode. At one point, Barry and elongated dick boy they get into a fight with her at the night at the museum, and she brings the T-Rex alive, and I'm just sitting there watching, and I'm just like, why doesn't Barry just punch this bitch in the face? Like, her whole power is she controls inanimate objects. Those objects are not a threat if one of them just knocks her out. Problem solved. She doesn't have any crazy reflexes. She shows no martial arts, no other powers. This literally might be one of the weakest villains that Barry has ever fought. It was such
still had a struggle.
Yeah,
for the sake of plot.
Yeah, for the sake of plot, they just dragged this episode out.
Yeah.
Also, in this episode, you forgot to mention that old elongated Dick learned about what it really means
Consequences of being here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he had the option of saving a little girl or stopping the villain chick from escaping, and he said, "Let me stop this villain from escaping." And then the little girl had a telephone line fall on top of her and crush her leg. I mean, she lived. Yeah, she should have, but she lived. But Plastic Man felt bad about it. And then what I didn't understand was somehow, some way, he actually snuck into her. Maybe not sneak, but he was in her hospital room at the end of the episode, making like balloon animals with his hands and
yeah,
toes.
both of them showed up there after the accident.
Yeah, and it's like you shouldn't be allowed to just see a child after they were in an accident. Like they don't know who you are. And then you weren't like police people at the scene of the crime at the time. Like, it just seems really weird, very convenient, but plot. Also, I really want to talk about this. Barry got hit by a caveman. Somehow he injured his leg and he couldn't save the little girl when the pole was about to fall on her. But like instantly when the pole fell, he was like, all right, I can save you now.
I'm healed up now.
I just have a few concerns with this. One, they're really underselling Barry at this point of the show. This man can run so fast.
What was it that knocked him down and hurt his leg? I forgot.
It was a caveman statue to life. Yeah.
All right, so this nigga's got super healing, and the caveman, what a billy club knocked him down for that long. Right.
Not even a real club. It looked like he was made of clay, man.
Basically.
All right, bro.
So I feel like they're really underselling Barry because he can throw lightning.
I mean, you have to
run back in time. He can literally make clones of himself. Like, bro, like it's like this man has all the tools. He's literally the fastest man in the world right now. And I could argue stop this by himself.
Yeah, I could argue there's no reason that Billy Club should have ever touched him because the moment he started swinging, he would have heard it and moved.
Like his perception is to be much better than what it is, bro.
They have to, bro. It's like you can't just go straight to the main plot with the Thinker, man. They got a certain amount of episodes they got to knock out for the season, and somebody's got to fight the Indian Avenger, man. Like you can't overpower this man like the entire time.
It's just like DC is known for making like the most OP characters, and Flash is by far one of the most OP characters. Yet for the sake of plot, they like greatly weaken him, and it's kind of annoying. It's like that, and the fact that these are
it's
like
for the sake of longevity.
Exactly, and not even that, but like these are the greatest minds of Central City. You have Wells, Cisco, Caitlin, Barry, and it's like. How is Barry a genius and he only works as a forensic scientist? But it's like, nonetheless, it's like, this man is super smart, super fast, and he still gets super ass whooped. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I'm just finding it very hard to believe that, like, time and time again, Barry has problems with a bitch that has good luck on her side, a bitch that can bring back, like, a bitch that can bring inanimate objects to life. My bad, women. That can bring, inanimate objects to life, like a cyborg. But he kind of handled that cyborg robot thing. But nonetheless, it's getting redundant. It's getting tiresome. Plastic Man needs to leave. I'm gonna be honest. I'd much rather have a depressed Wally West back.
They sacrificed Wally for this bullshit. Wally, why?
Right.
Like, we don't even need, like, if they didn't want to bring Wally back, or if he didn't want to be back, like, let's say bring Cisco more to the front line, have Cisco develop his powers more. Maybe even what's Cisco's girlfriend's name? Gypsy. Yeah. I feel like at this point, Plastic Man, I hate his effects. He has like the ugliest.
Or implement fucking Bart Allen, bro.
We could always use more Gypsy, yeah.
Implement Impulse, man. Like, I don't like this nigga, man.
I actually want to punch him in the jaw, you know?
He's really a bad inclusion to the season, and he's actually really bringing the show down. He's like, he's not a likable person. He's not a good actor. I don't like the character. I don't like the powers. It adds nothing to the show. Nothing.
like Julian was annoying and a dick, but he was a good actor, and like he played his role. I didn't like Julian as a character, but like as an actor, it's like
You weren't
I
supposed
didn't have
to.
a problem. Yeah, I know, and they did a great job. Like he was a decent what's the when you're in between anti-hero, I guess.
I would have much rather them get Cisco involved more or Caitlyn with the whole second plot line of her being Killer Frost still.
Exactly.
Like, no need to throw him into the equation because he's just... He's literally Reed Richards, but he's not smart. He's just a fucking idiot, bro.
He ain't got
And
no
Reed
Jessica
Richards is a
Alba.
cornball, so he's a super cornball.
It's like, oh my gosh, we gotta talk about the scene where like they get robbed at the beginning of the episode. I forgot about this. They get robbed at the beginning of the episode, and like the guys, like they literally just turn their back on the robber and have a conversation about how like they should stop this guy, and it's like maybe you should just stop him. And it turns out that the robber shoots a bullet at Plastic Man, and because he's naturally stretchy, the bullet goes in him, then like bounces right back at the robber and it shoots the robber. The robber falls on the ground. Then he shoots another bullet at Plastic Man, and then like the bullet goes into the dude's ass. And Barry's like, "Stop shooting him, Plastic Man!" And Plastic Man is like, "It's not me shooting him." And it's supposed to be comedic, but it's like really cringy. Maybe Iris West needs a better story, you know?
We've heard enough of her.
You know what?
complaining.
Yeah.
We had enough of her feminism. I'm good on that.
We're the Flash, Barry.
We don't need the black laurel to strike again, okay? I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
Maybe more of the golden booty.
Right. I think what I've gotten out of this episode is the bad news is Flash season 4 from the beginning it's gone from meh to me, maybe it'll get better, to mediocre to now it's just flat out terrible. But the good news is this Friday the Punisher comes out on Netflix, so I'm not I'm not really tripping.
Justice League coming out, I think, next week.
Justice League. We'll see.
I have no hopes for it. What are your thoughts on this episode? Let's just wrap this up.
Mediocre. At some parts, trash, terrible. The Harrison Wells shit, terrible. Actually, you know what? 85% of this was ass.
Shitty bitch.
I said we didn't even talk about the ending. How I pointed out that at the end of every past episode, it ends with DeVoe saying, "I'm smarter than you." They literally did the same thing in this episode, except for they remixed it. Instead of him being in his lair saying, "I'm smarter than you," now they cosplayed his husband and crippled wife. I mean, crippled wife. How about that disability? And once again, he's smiling. He's like, "I'm smarter than you." I was like, "Bruh, I'm so over this. I'm so over this."
You could start a "I'm smarter than you" counter.
I'm not even asking for a lot. I'm just asking you, like, what is your motivation? Are you trying to take over the world? Is it Central City? You just want to make Barry mad? Give us something. We get it. God damn it. You got a big brain, bro. Right.
But he's smarter than you. You didn't understand that.
I bet you anticipated I was going to say that too.
Awesome, 100 times. This episode is trash. This season's trash. It's the Arrowverse curse season 4, bro. Like, I think Legends is going to go through it next season.
The other funny part is, we always say we're going to start doing these Flash reviews just because we love the show so much. As soon as we start reviewing it, it's fucking terrible. And at this point, I probably would have dropped this shit if we weren't doing weekly reviews and maybe binge watched it one day when the season was over. Because like the way it's going, like if we weren't doing these, I would have probably dropped this shit by now.
Yeah,
I feel that.
It's that bad.
Season 4, baby. We got to keep on pushing. Good news. I just got out of season 4 for Arrow. So I'm going to try and catch up with season 5 and then we can do season 6 reviews.
True.
And then, we can do Supergirl. Never. I also got to do the Legends. That one seems lit.
I haven't watched none of season 3 for Legends.
Oh, season 3 is lit.
Oh, true.
Season 4 is coming next year, and
during a Flash review, we're talking about all the shows.
Don't forget Black Lightning. It's coming, baby.
Ooh, yeah, 2018. We gotta do that. We gotta do that one for the sake.
Yeah, just because we can catch it at the beginning. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
See how it evolves.
So yeah, Black Lightning. Go watch it when it drops. On that note, if you want to be a part of videos like this, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/updates. You get a ton of rewards being videos like this, being on Discord, yada, yada, yada. What else is there? Is that it?
No.
Yeah. I'm Black. I'll catch you later. Steve.
We're done?
TBH.
Barry Allen's an idiot. Cisco, shout out to you. You dating up above your range. And shout out to the Native American girl.
Oh,
and
yeah.
All I want to say out of this episode is it just really upsets me that this episode was so trash, and they still found a way to demonize the poor Native Americans, man. Shout out to the Native Americans, bro. Shit's old.
I just want to say Cisco is a much better character this season than he was last season. I hated him last season. But yeah.
Yeah, they finally got that nigga.
Barry.